going. What is good, ladies and gentlemen? This is your boy, Big to the motherfucking, and I am here with the homie Hollywood J to the motherfucking Blaq, and we are at Bizak with some more NFL talk. What is good?
Dramatic.
What is with the slow creep? What is with the dramatic turn?
You know what the dramatic turn is.
I can do that shit too. Watch this one.
What is good, sir? This is the
What is good? I have been in game plays for the last 2 days to set up for the next 2 weeks. That is what is good.
Jesus. Well, we appreciate the hard work and dedication. I
still got to do voiceover work for the games too. That's the fucked up part.
Yeah, you got a busy plate on your plate.
I get a busy plate on my plate.
Yes, you have a busy.
What the fuck is this? Is this an all-family Mexican restaurant, motherfucker?
Right, your plate is busy. Your whole plate is busy on your plate. That's right. But amongst the confusion, this, ladies and gentlemen, is our NFL preview episode dose.
And have you ever been shot in the nuts?
No, but I've been shot in the back of the head and in the leg.
And spoiler, it sucks.
Oh, either way, it sucks. Spoiler. Spoiler alert, ladies and gentlemen, getting shot sucks as a whole, regardless of where you get shot at.
Are you trying to show us your breast, sir? By pointing the camera down towards your chest? Are you trying to flash your camera?
Oh, yeah, sexy body. Sexy man. Sexy man.
Sexy man. With the sexy man con. Okay, anyway.
But this
is not off the rails. That is tomorrow night.
Yes, this is not sexy time with Sinful Blaq Entertainment. No, sir. This is the Overtime Sports Show NFL preview.
It's always sexy time with Sinful Blaq Entertainment. Goddamn it!
I mean, it could be, but not today. We got to get.
Take a look at my Instagram profile picture. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this man did the GQest of GQest profile pictures. If you haven't checked it out on the Instagram, especially when he just pops up in your inbox, right? You're like, this motherfucker here. Bing.
They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. That's nightmarish even to me.
Yes. So I have to answer a quick question before we get this whole started. I had a question. Somebody asked me, James, why do you film these shows on Facebook and then film them on YouTube?
We upload them to YouTube, asshole. Not film them on YouTube.
That's the big start. That's the big first thing, right? But the second thing is that we get feedback from people that we know immediately. So it's not just like a slow thing, right? It's not a slow grind. When people want to chime in, they chime in. It's just like a real life audience. I mean, yes, you can get that on YouTube, but not as often. You know what I'm saying? It's more fun this way.
That has to do with YouTube's algorithms and them not supporting smaller channels. That's what that is.
Exactly. And that's why I think we had this discussion a long time ago, is that if we said we were going to do this, then we're going to do this and reach the most people possible. So here we are in the flesh. So
this is hey, hold on. This is a weird color. Watch my neck.
What the heck is that?
I have no idea. That's a little weird.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the NFL preview, episode 2. That man over there is my esteemed host and homeboy, lifelong family member, Big Sin. I am Hollywood J. Blaq. Last week, we got done talking about the AFC and NFC East, where we had a candid conversation about just how good the New England Patriots are.
As they put the beat down on the Eagles last night in preseason.
Oh, and most people brush it off as a preseason game. And I think to myself, Tom Brady likes to stick it to teams that he doesn't like any way that he can. And I'm pretty sure there's a special place in his heart for the Philadelphia Eagles. It's at the bottom.
Well, him throwing for 214 yards and 2 touchdowns in a preseason game kind of, answers that question there.
Yeah, exactly. It's something I didn't realize. I didn't realize Cordarrelle Patterson was on the New England Patriots.
Yes, they signed him away from Oakland to be a kick returner, but he's going to be a big part of our wide receiver core.
You see that juke move he put on old boy en route to that touchdown. That was fun.
That man is no joke. That man is the truth.
Speed kills. That's the only thing I can say about that. So today, oddly enough, we are going to be discussing the AFC and the NFC North. The two of, I would say, still the toughest divisions in football, where we had a clear bottom, 2 teams that always bounce around as playoff contenders or pretenders, and then a dominant team.
But you know what? I have a spoiler for the whole NFL season when it comes to this talk.
Oh God! What's the spoiler alert, sir?
You will hear it when we start talking about the teams.
All right. Well, let's not wait any longer. Let's not keep the fans waiting. Let's get right to it. We are going to start with the AFC North, and more importantly, if my thing would start left clicking instead of right clicking, we are going to start at the top, and that top is the AFC North's Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, the Steelers have been a subject of conversation for a long, long time, thanks to Ben Roethlisberger and Antonio Brown.
Why the hell y'all draft the quarterback? Hold on. Here's Ben Roethlisberger after the draft. Why y'all draft the quarterback?
Exactly. I mean, and oddly enough, this is Ben Roethlisberger's fault because he's the one that said, I'm thinking about retiring. He pulling that Brett Favre shit. Every year. He's pulling that Brett Favre shit, right?
Every year, Pittsburgh gets beat up by the Patriots. Oh, I think I'm going to retire.
Yeah. It has me like, okay, really? Come on now. You're not going to fool me, Ben Roethlisberger.
Can I give Ben Roethlisberger a Shia LaBeouf moment real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Just do it.
Which, frankly, he should. I mean, I'm not saying that he's not good enough, and I'm not saying.
He's now turning 38 years old off of a lot of injuries over his career. He can't stay healthy for an entire season.
Yeah.
One more to the leg, his career could be over right then. Yeah.
I mean, this is one of the more recent cases of these quarterbacks that have been drafted in this. In that class around that 05, 07 range, right? Or 05 to 08 range that are, I don't know, they're injury prone, if you think about it. They're
look at Flacco, look at Roethlisberger, look at all of them.
Yeah. Flacco, Roethlisberger, Rodgers, Romo, right there.
Dalton.
And Andy Dalton, right there. That's your list. The top, those were quarterbacks that were drafted at least first or second round in that period, and they all have the same injury issues: collarbone.
Oh, can I make a statement? You said one name in there, Aaron Rodgers. Can I make a statement about this man?
Yes.
Everything I'm seeing calling him the greatest quarterback, and they want his toughness because he's never injured. Have these people who post this shit watched the last 3 seasons?
Well. Skip Bayless presented probably the best point when somebody tried to say that Tom Brady wasn't as good as Aaron Rodgers. And I like to, Lord forgive me for, and I want to talk about Aaron Rodgers because I have a huge statement on Aaron Rodgers when we get to the NFC North. So before we do that, let's get to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's talk about this for a second. We got Le'Veon Bell still holding out.
Before we go off the rails?
Yes. Yeah, before we go off the rails, we got Le'Veon Bell still holding out. Antonio Brown is Antonio Brown. Ben Roethlisberger.
Antonio Brown is on the cover of Madden, which the Madden curse is on his revenge tour.
Yeah.
Because it didn't touch Tom Brady last year.
Exactly. And on top of that, we have Ben Roethlisberger looking over his shoulder, worrying that the guy that's behind him is going to come and take his job. All of this is a recipe for disaster. Am I saying that Pittsburgh is not going to be good this year? I think they're going to play good, but I think it's going to come down to a lot of things. I think this year is going to be the last year of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't want to call it a dynasty, an end of an era of success. They've been fairly successful over the last, 10 years, 15 years? When did Roethlisberger draft? I think 05, right? 06, somewhere around there?
Yeah, 05, 06.
Okay, so 12 years. We'll say they've had
about 3 bad years since he's been drafted.
Yeah, so 9 out of the 12 years since he's been in the game. Roethlisberger's led his team to the playoffs, 2 Super Bowls he has under his belt. This is, to me, the way that this recipe is going. Everybody talks about this too. Like everybody saying, "Oh, Le'Veon Bell's going to play, and Le'Veon Bell's going to do this." Le'Veon Bell's going to be 30 years old. We all know that the 30 is the hill, and Le'Veon Bell's going to be over it, right? So, are they going to pay the man the money that he deserves, or is this going to be it? Because they didn't draft a running back. There's no free agent running backs that they're going to bring in that are going to run like Le'Veon Bell or be a factor like Le'Veon Bell. Their front staff isn't like the Eagles or the Patriots or the Niners that can just find talent and make them useful. And that's it. And they've already drafted the future. This is a recipe for disaster. What do you think?
All right. So I agree with you. Steelers are going to be the subject of a lot of talk this year. And it's going to be a lot of negative talk, but we have seen with this team they can get through that and actually string together 9 to 11 wins a season, no matter how negative the environment around them is. With that being said, I'm going to go back to James Harrison's comments about the coaches when he said Mike Tomlin needs to be a little more like Bill Belichick and actually earn the respect of his players and not be their friends.
I fully agree with you, 100% fully agree. And on top of that, I like to mention that I think that there's one team that can derail this whole entire thing. We're going to talk about them last, though. But I think you know who I'm talking about. That I think.
Why you get out of my head? I said, spoiler alert. Get the fuck out of my head.
We'll talk about them, though. We'll talk about them. Because, see, that's why we boys. That's why we family. Because we thinking the same shit. And I didn't know that you was thinking that. And I was just going to drop that shit. But we're going to talk about that. So now let's get to the Baltimore Ravens. Now.
Wait, I got to get my prediction for the Steelers.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So let's talk about Steelers. So let me get my notes. Because I always love taking notes.
Yeah, because remember last year people complained that we didn't talk enough about the teams.
Yeah, we didn't talk about.
But here's the funny part about that. Remember, they said we didn't talk enough about the Giants, and I said the Giants were going to be boo-boo ass garbage, and the guy got mad at me.
Yep.
And what were the Giants last year?
Boo-boo ass garbage. Times 7 with fireballs, nigga.
you know, at the end of last season, he put a dislike and a hateful comment on that video.
And then I would have replied to it at the end of the season. Well, gee, I guess it wasn't a prediction after all, now was it?
Gee, I guess I really didn't have to talk about the Giants since I knew what was going to happen.
Well, I hope he watches this year and realizes that we actually praise the Giants and hope that they can secure something. We did talk good about them, though. I know,
and it still makes me sick to my stomach.
I know, I'm sorry. So, Pittsburgh. All right, so we know that they added a QB. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, he picked me apart in my first Madden game, so I don't like him.
And then the minus, they lost only a couple people due to retirement or some shit. They didn't really lose much people this year, Pittsburgh, oddly enough. So
no, they're the same team as they were last year.
Yeah. So
without Martavis Bryant, who only played 4 games last year. So.
Yeah, Martavis. Minus Martavis, but you see that new dude that they got. That dude is a burner. I can't remember his name, but we'll talk about
that. Not when your offensive line can't protect Roethlisberger long enough.
Shut up, Hanky. No. All right. So, what is your prediction for the? So, Hanky and Phil, what is your prediction?
We are predicting the Pittsburgh Steelers 7 this year and miss the playoffs.
You said 9-7 or 7-9?
9-7 and miss the playoffs because me and Le'Veon Bell are going to go get high. I'll see you later. All right, Callie. Catch you later, buddy. Yes, the Pittsburgh Steelers will go 9-7, possibly 10-6. Le'Veon Bell, he won't hold out, and hold up the entire season.
That's true. So I'll do you one better. I say they will go 10-6, but some drama is going to happen in the NFC North that they're going to miss the playoffs entirely.
AFC, we're talking about the AFC North.
I mean the AFC North. There's going to be some drama in the AFC North. Thank you.
Are you sure you haven't been hitting the bottle before off the rails, my friend?
No, but things in my life today make me want to hit the bottle. So. So we agree that Pittsburgh's going to overachieve and then not be able to get into the playoffs. And I think that's
Pittsburgh's going to underachieve and not make the playoffs.
All right. So next on the list, the most intriguing team, and my friend Bruno's team. I know he's hopefully watches this show and talks about this. The wonderful, very purple and blacky Baltimore Ravens.
The elderly team of the AFC.
Yes, in fact, the oldest team in the conference.
That's what I just said.
Yes,
the elderly squad of the AFC.
Yes. As a whole,
can I say what Jalen Ramsey said?
Yes.
Joe Flacco sucks.
Actually, said he fucking sucks. But anyways, you gotta quote. If you're gonna quote, we're gonna quote him.
Sports Illustrated did not want to put the fucking out there.
Well, he said F_KIN. Okay, it wasn't fucking sucks. Okay, let's just get it right. He fucking sucks. I tend to not agree with that assessment. I don't think that he sucks. So
what has Joe Flacco done in a non-contract year? He's won 2 Super Bowls in contract. He's won 2 Super Bowls in contract years. In non-contract years, that motherfucker has shit the bed more than Matt Castle and the Chiefs.
All right, so here's the thing, okay? The Baltimore Ravens are a team that were completely built off of Ray Rice. Okay?
Yes, off of a murderer. Yes, I know.
Follow me now. Follow me.
Off of a wife beater and a murderer. Ray Rice and Ray Lewis.
They were literally beat as a ground and pound. They were literally built as a ground and pound team. Okay? They were built. This was since the Jamal Lewis days. This is the coming of Ray Rice and all this shit. They were built as a ground and pound team. The problem is that Joe Flacco is a slinger, right? Not like a gunslinger, but he's a slinger. So if you ever watch Joe Flacco in Delaware, when they drafted him, so when they said, hey, I'm a Joe Flacco guy, I'm going to draft this guy and he's going to sling the ball down the field. What they failed to do is adapt an offense to make Joe Flacco appeal to his strengths. It's not a vertical offense. That's what the same offense he ran in Delaware was vertical. He hasn't had a vertical offense. They haven't had a coordinator that wanted to create a vertical offense. Brian Billick only gave a fuck about the defense. John Harbaugh, whose brother is a quarterback, only gave a fuck about the defense. Even in Joe Flacco's best year, when he threw 28 touchdowns and only like 4 interceptions or some shit like that, it wasn't impressive at all. It was mad. You know what I'm saying?
It was mediocre.
Yeah.
It was mediocre.
Mediocre at best. And so now we come to when they played the Niners, right? They did the strategy. You see that they did. They ran verticals all day with Torrey Smith and what is that dude's name? Number 18, the dude that had that big long ass running catch for the touchdown. He used to be the Jacoby Ford. Is that Jacoby Ford?
Yeah.
Yeah. They went verticals all day up until after halftime, and then the defense realized, fuck, they're going verticals. We have to switch the entire game plan. And that's when everything changed. And Jim Harbaugh was able to catch up and do what he needed to do. But if they're not going to have a system where Joe Flacco is going vertical all the time, and they're going to go ground and pound, then you're going to need a quarterback that's going to need them legs. So one or two things are going to happen. Either Joe Flacco goes to the TB12 camp and learns how to scramble, or
you really just say go to TB12 camp and learn how to scramble?
Yes. It's either that or they trade him to a team that goes vertical. It's as simple as that. It's literally as simple as that. Tom Brady, Tom Brady's in his elder years. Real quick, Tom Brady in his elder years scrambling the fuck out of even most quarterbacks, right? Nowadays, right? He has scrambled more after 35 than he has ever scrambled pre-35, the 15 years prior in his life. So, with that said, that's exactly how this is going to have to happen. He's either got to learn how to scramble or he's just going to have to get traded. What are your thoughts, Phil?
My thoughts are... Oh, Lord. Okay, let me get my head straight again.
You knew this was going crazy when I said TB12 camp.
Here's the track we're on. Oh, look, a squirrel. Exactly what just happened. Anyway, let's do the track with this Joe Flacco talk. Joe Flacco right now, all he is a seat warmer to the future of the run and pound, the ground and pound offense the Ravens will have in 3 years once the overpaid Joe Flacco contract is over and they can get their Louisville Heisman finalist quarterback on the field full time. Yes, you know who I'm talking about, Mr. Lamar Jackson. He is the future of that team. And they will go back to the ground and pound, which they want.
So let me pull out the playbook from the Lee Corso playbook. Not so fast, my friend, because there's a guy.
No. You're gonna go ahead and say Joe Flacco should go learn to run at TB12. I'm gonna say Lamar Jackson is the fucking future quarterback.
I've censored him, ladies and gentlemen. No, I haven't. The shit just cut out. My bad. Anyways. No.
Oh, it cut out with me going on a fucking rant about your fucking statements? Really? This is bullshit, Hilado. I didn't beat them kids.
I was going to say, Senor Felipe Juan Andrews, that there's a guy, he's sitting on the bench. He's been playing second string the last 2-3 games now. His name...
RG3 is not going to take any fucking starting snaps this year.
Wait. His name is RG3.
Okay. Now, what did I say I was going to do with this belt?
So the only man that is consistent...
Do you really want RG3 to end up like Brian Griffin again?
He's put up numbers in preseason.
In the preseason against second and third string defenses.
Well, I mean, technically, they played Chicago. Their starting defense is second at best. Who they played last week? I am
going to censor my camera for a minute because I don't want you to see what I'm saying to you, okay?
You don't want me to see what you're saying? Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyways.
Yes, I don't want you to see what I'm saying to you, okay?
Oh, Phil. Anyway. Yes, well, RG3 has been performing his ass off. And if he doesn't secure a job here, there's a lot of going to be quarterback needy teams that are needing a quarterback. In fact, there's a team that we're track. Oh, there we go. Hold on. Are we back?
Yes.
Yay!
I just didn't want to hear your nonsense, so I left.
It wasn't nonsense. You didn't hear about this in Denver?
Where the hell did he go?
Anyway,
now Mr. Blaq is gone. See, even his own show kicks him off for the bullshit he said about RG3.
You didn't hear about Denver. Like, you really didn't hear about what happened in Denver?
It's preseason. I really don't pay attention.
Okay, so Denver Broncos fans started a GoFundMe.
I'm listening.
Denver Broncos fans.
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear, buddy.
Good. Denver Broncos fans.
God, you're still talking about it?
Yes. Denver Broncos fans started a GoFundMe.
Yes, to get rid of Paxton Lynch, I know.
Yes, and that's the funniest shit I ever heard in my entire life. How bad do you suck? In order for their fans to start a GoFundMe to get you the fuck out of town.
Well, can we talk about ridiculous GoFundMes? They started a GoFundMe to make fucking one of the Kardashians the youngest billionaire in the world.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, the Baltimore Ravens are going to go 6-10 this season.
Yay! Yes. Maybe. Yes. Anyways, but I think Baltimore is going to be my 7-9 squad.
Okay.
I'm going to call Baltimore. You say 6-10?
Yeah.
I say 7-9. And I'm going to tell you how the 7-9 is going to go. Joe Flacco is going to go 4-0 in the first 4 games of the season. And then he's going to get injured. And then Lamar Jackson's going to come in. And he's going to win 3 games. And they're going to think the season's saved. And then they're going to lose another 9. That's not a prediction. It's a spoiler, ladies and gentlemen. And the messed up part about it is somewhere, right? Somewhere Lamar Jackson's going to get benched. And they're going to bring in RG3. And he's going to look good, but the defense is going to be shit.
He's going to look good, and then he's going to be laying on the ground like Brian Griffin did after he got hit by the car when they murdered him on Family Guy.
That is neither here nor there, okay? He's going to put up numbers. He's going to finally get that big money contract that he did.
Anyway, on to the Cincinnati Bengals and the Red Rocket.
Red Rocket, huh?
I'd rather talk about a dog's boner than RG3 and the Baltimore Ravens.
The Red Rocket, where it's the Cincinnati Bengals, where a tradition of mediocrity sells tickets lives on. That's right. Marvin Lewis is in his 18th year, probably even 19th year, maybe even 20th. I haven't kept count at this point.
16.
Marvin Lewis is still employed. Let's just start there. Marvin Lewis is still employed. He is still a coach in the NFL.
And you know what the fucked up part is about his whole thing?
What?
Marvin Lewis basically did what George Bush Jr. did in the second time he got elected. Yeah, I'm your coach. Yeah, I'm your president. That's how it happened.
You ain't never lied. And that's half the problem, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have any faith in Marvin Lewis getting his team to the playoffs. Yes.
Hold on, Marvin Lewis will get you to the playoffs. But that's all you're doing.
Shit, that wasn't even guaranteed last year. Fuck.
Well, last year you got to think about it. AJ Green got hurt. Dalton was banged up. They lost their running backs. Last year was just a bad year all around for the team.
All right, so they're gonna have all these healthy players, and they still ain't gonna do shit. There you go. There's your spoiler alert.
11-5.
You say 11-5. All right, cool. They're gonna be 11-5. No, I'll tell you this. They're gonna be 10-6. 10. All right, so you Bungles. You say 11-5. I say 10-6. So I just want you to see where this theme is going. So now,
this is where people start turning off the show.
Now we are going to get to the Browns of Cleveland. Now, football has been rejuvenated in the city of Cleveland thanks to the Browns. They are now doing their thug thizzle. They are now, I think they look good. They look really good on paper. They look really good on the field. Baker Mayfield
looks good on the field.
Yeah. They look good.
Even though he's not going to start the season.
Yeah. But who knows, though? Who knows?
Hey, Tyrod has looked just as good, so.
Yeah, but listen, Baker Mayfield has too much upside. Tyrod is good. Don't get me wrong. I think Tyrod Taylor is really, really good. In this situation, I should say. In the Hugh Jackson situation, quarterback whisperer, I think he's in the same position as Jason Campbell was and when he was on the Raiders, when Hugh Jackson was coaching the Raiders, and he led Jason Campbell to perhaps his best season of a pro that he's ever had.
Still didn't win more than 5 games, but yeah.
Well, he went 5-1 before he tore his fucking shit up. And then they got desperate.
That's not the point. They didn't even go to the playoffs sadly.
Well, hold on, wait, no. So he did. No, so they went 7-2. Remember, they went 7-2, and then it was looking good. And then at the trade deadline, that's when Jason Campbell got hurt, and then they did that stupid ass trade for Carson Palmer. And then it was Tebow time after that. Everybody forgets about that. We wouldn't even be discussing Tebow time had it not been for Jason Campbell getting injured. I want people to remember that and put that in their head. Tim Tebow wouldn't even be a discussion on planet Earth had it not been for Jason Campbell getting injured. So
even though this man was
his ways, you tell me that Tim Tebow's a saint? You know what Tim Tebow was praying for. You know exactly what Tim Tebow. Please, Lord.
He was praying to lose his virginity.
No, you please, Lord. The black man is going to come into town and destroy our team. Please make sure he doesn't do that. Please, Lord. Please.
But besides Mr. Granger, Mr. Black's Tebow hate right now, shout out to Tim Tebow for becoming an all-star in baseball.
Yes, it was in AAA, but it was all-star nonetheless.
In his first season after playing in the NFL, yes. Give the man credit where it's due.
I give the man credit where he's due. Neither him nor Colin Kaepernick are going to have a career in the NFL due to kneeling. Anyways,
I'm gonna buy a whiteboard and just so I can make marks every time you mention Colin Kaepernick and his kneeling. Okay.
But hey, am I wrong?
Yes. Tim Tebow's out of the NFL because he was boo-boo garbage after they got annihilated by the Patriots. Why is the Patriots always the running theme of annihilating people? What is wrong with this picture?
All right, so let's start here. Tim Tebow was the only reason that the damn Cleveland Broncos made it to the fucking playoffs.
Hold on. The Cleveland Broncos?
Yes, the Cleveland Broncos. Because they were that shitty at the beginning of the season. They looked like the Cleveland Browns at the beginning. So I'm sorry.
You know, you probably just lost half of our fan base by putting those two names together.
I don't know. Depending on how passionate your fan base is, they're probably like, "You're right, James. You're right. Cleveland Broncos. That's how bad we sucked before Tim Tebow came along." You know I'm right too, because that good ass defense had nothing to do with John Elway building that team. That defense was there before John Elway became the godsend of fucking.
You know, I'm gonna do something for ratings right now since you just killed us. Okay, you ready? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna waterboard myself. Okay.
Oh my God.
Hold on.
Oh Lord. Anyways, so the Denver Broncos were shit without Tim Tebow. But we're not talking about the Denver Broncos.
Anybody listening on podcast to this point is probably sitting like, what the fuck is wrong with these people?
In 2 weeks, I will have my complete 9-page thesis on why John Elway is a fucking idiot. But that's not then. That's 2 weeks from now. Today we're talking about the Cleveland Browns.
Make that a video you do by yourself, because I will fall asleep.
Hey, all right. So we can have our things we trust more than Jay Cutler / John Elway is a fucking idiot podcast, and I bet you it'll be the highest rated podcast in the entire fucking earth. Anyways. So, back to
I trust Flex Tape more than I trust Jay Cutler.
I trust Hugh Jackson winning more than I think that actually might happen. I mean, spoiler alert.
I trust Marvin Lewis winning a playoff game more than I trust Jay Cutler.
I trust Jay Cutler's wife letting him have some during the season more than I trust Jay Cutler.
Anyway, let's talk about these Cleveland football Browns.
Yes, we've gone off the rails in the middle of our show.
For the third time in the show.
Cleveland Browns, even though Dez Bryant walked away without a contract this time around, I fully expect him to sign a contract within the next 2 weeks. That's my prediction.
Okay, I have a problem with this thing.
What?
Dez Bryant has no place in Cleveland.
I would say that if Hugh Jackson wasn't the coach.
He would be the third wide receiver in Cleveland.
And that's fine, but
not for Dez Bryant, it ain't.
I think if he gets a chance to prove himself, look, listen. Baker, if they go with Tyrod Taylor and they say Tyrod Taylor's our man, I don't expect Dez Bryant to sign. But if they say Baker Mayfield's going to sign, going to be the starting quarterback, I fully expect Dez Bryant to sign. I think he's waiting to see if they're going to commit to Baker Mayfield. I think that's what it's going to come down to.
All right, you ready for the? This is not a prediction. This is a spoiler.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I'm down for this. I think we're on the same wavelength.
The Cleveland football Browns will go 11-5 and win the AFC North, where the Bengals will get the wild card.
You said 11-5, win the AFC North. All right, so you ready? Ready for this one? You ready for mine? Because you see where I was going to go with this one, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the Cleveland Browns are going to go 10-6, which is going to cause a 3-way tie in the AFC North. But the Bengals are going to win the head-to-head matchups against the Steelers and the Bengals.
How the Bengals going to beat the
division, the record in the division, making them the AFC champions.
How are the Bengals going to beat the Bengals?
I'm sorry, I think the Browns. God damn it! Thank you for correcting me. Appreciate that. Looking out for it, brother. See,
of course.
All right, so I think the Browns are going to win the AFC North in a 3-way tie with a 10-6 record. Because they're going to beat the Steelers twice and they're going to beat the Bengals twice.
The only thing I'm going to disagree with you there on is the Browns are not beating the Steelers in week 1.
We don't know that.
I do know that.
No, let me tell you something. If Baker Mayfield starts, that is the beginning of the end for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The whole Le'Veon Bell shit's going to blow up. Roethlisberger's going to blow up. Antonio Brown's going to be like, fuck this shit. I'm telling you, domino effect. If the Browns beat the Steelers in week 1, it is going to be the ripple effect, domino effect that is going to wipe out the entire season for anybody in the AFC North with playoff aspirations. I promise you that.
All right. So go ahead and run down. Oh, no, we'll do the rundown at the end of the episode.
We'll do the rundown.
All right.
But
let's
now,
go ahead and move on to the NFC side of things. The NFC North, where we got some new faces and some old places. Some old faces in the same places. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. NFC North time. I love this. This is the best part of the day. Because remember I said I got a lot to talk about in the NFC North. A lot. I think we breezed through the AFC North real quick because we both were on the same wavelength. Let's just talk about the Browns, right? But now the NFC North, I got my Aaron Rodgers rant shoved up. But first, we got to talk about the NFC North champions, the Minnesota Vikings, eh?
The Minnesota Vikings upgraded at the position that probably kept them out of the Super Bowl last year, and that is the quarterback position when they signed Kirk Cousins in this offseason.
So I only have one question to my compatriot, Big Sin. You like that? Huh? You like that? You like that?
What I'm gonna like is a full season for that running back in Minnesota last year, the rookie who got injured after the 5th game.
Yes.
And Latavius Murray. That is what I'm going to like watching in that backfield.
And then Diggs, Stephon Diggs. And
they're going to be fucking nasty because that defense is still fucking really good.
Yeah, Thielen and all of them. That whole Vikings thing.
With an actual big arm accurate quarterback.
Yeah, a gunslinger. That's a true gunslinger. Kirk Cousins is a gunslinger. And he finally has the tools and the offense to make a mark, which is going to be real interesting on how that goes. It's either going to go really, really fucking good or it's going to go really fucking bad.
I'm gonna say it right now. You can mark this down, dude. The Minnesota Vikings are going to go 13-3 this year and win the NFC North.
13-3. I got you down for 13-3?
Yep.
13-3. All right. So my opinion.
I'm actually predicting right now, this day, August 17th, 2018, the Minnesota Vikings will be in the Super Bowl next year.
You talking about this season? Like in
this season. This season.
That's a rough one. I
know we want our dream Patriots 49ers matchup. That can wait till next year. This year, I believe the Minnesota Vikings is going to do it.
It's the problem. It's what the NFL wants, too.
I don't want to play their political games. That is for you to stir the pot on, not me.
Anyways, if you're listening to the podcast, I'm stirring the pot, ladies and gentlemen. No, but for real, the Minnesota Vikings they're a 12-4, 13-3 team. But they could easily go 7-9, 8-8 if things go really bad, really fast. But their ceiling is about 12-4, 13-3. I have them down for 13-3 as well. That's with an asterisk though. So I'm putting my 13-3 down, but I'm putting the asterisk because a meltdown can happen really fucking fast, and like that. Don't
be trying to say no to Minnesota Vikings.
You should have went for the arm. I'm not snapping right. We go.
They should have had Hawkeye fire an arrow with Ant-Man into Thanos' ear and just have Ant-Man grow to be 60 feet tall. Then the whole thing would never happen. They
should have just shot Thanos in the balls. Anyways, so
Pikachu should have shot him in the balls. That's what should happen.
All right, so now we get to talk about the Green Bay Football Packers. Now,
the biggest overhyped hot mess that I believe is going to happen this season.
And that's not even the worst part. I mean, you put a bold statement out there, and that's not even the worst part of the whole situation. Okay? So the Packers' biggest problems were, one, Aaron Rodgers lacked a receiver that he can trust. Now he has Jimmy Graham. But I don't
Can
know.
you trust Jimmy Graham? Has anybody watched his career the last 3 years?
I mean, he trusts him to be there, but that trust comes with the whole. You got to move over, sir. Now I see your hand. Now I see there's a brick under your desk. Why is there a brick under your bed? Are you trying to beat people with a brick that come to your house? Is this what you do for a living? Brick beater?
You don't fucking worry about that shit, okay?
Anyways, so that's not even the worst part. The worst part is that
I got a brick under my bed. They don't need to know that shit.
Well, you was on camera, motherfucker. Anyways.
It never happened. Just like a good season this year for the Green Bay Packers.
Okay, so the worst part about this whole thing with the Packers really revolves around Aaron Rodgers himself. Aaron Rodgers, I believe, so badly wants to prove that he's in the same conversation as Tom Brady. He really wants to prove this badly. My worry is that worry is going to cost him. And I expressed this on the Overtime Sports Show last week when we did when we first started the NFL games. There was a headline where Aaron Rodgers was in practice yelling and berating his receivers, and I said to myself, I think Aaron Rodgers is starting to feel the pressure because in the AFC, 3-4 quarterbacks tops, right? Top tier in the AFC.
Yeah.
In the NFC, let's run it down by division. We got Garoppolo. We got Russell Wilson.
Only after 6 starts.
Huh?
Only after 6 starts.
Yeah, but we have Garoppolo. We have Russell Wilson, who seemingly can will his team to victories. Teams like against the Packers, like he willed his victory against them. We have Eli Manning, who has a rebuilt offense, who's ready to go. We even have we have Stafford, who's in his own division. Cousins is in his own division. We have Alex Smith. We have Carson Wentz whenever the fuck he comes back.
Matt Ryan.
We have Matt Ryan. We have Drew Brees still is slinging the ball, and that offense is rejuvenated because now they can run the ball. They have a dual-headed monster. Do you feel – and the Rams are good, and Jared Goff has been balling, and now he has new weapons. You can feel the pressure. You feel him breathing down his neck. The rest of the NFL is creeping up behind them. It's what I equated the remember when the Niners, they were 10-3? I mean, they were 13-3, and then they were 13-3 again, and then they were 10-6, and then they were 8-8. So 7-9, 8-8, right? There's a reason why that happened, because while everybody else got better, the Niners stayed the same. You remember that period, that 3-year period? Everybody else got better because they went to catch up to the 49ers. They were building defense and having solid quarterback play. Now, the chickens have come home to roost. It's no longer the NFC that it was 4 years ago, where you maybe had 4. You can say 4 teams are guaranteed to make the playoff and 2 were going to throw their head in. That's not the case anymore. Aaron Rodgers, in my eyes, feels the pressure. It's like that linebacker, all-pro linebacker, breathing down his neck all game, just hounding him, destroying his left tackle, destroying his blind side. He feels it. And even with Jimmy Graham being signed and Jimmy Graham being that prime target, he's not healthy enough. He's not showing consistently that he can be healthy enough to be ran in this offense. Your thoughts, Phil, before I really go into it, because I can really go into it, but I want your thoughts on it.
No, I agree with you. The Green Bay Packers for years have just been the same old dull fucking team that they've been. They did this during the Brett Favre era too.
Yeah.
They're really good, and they just stayed stagnant for fucking 10 years until Brett Favre decided to move on himself.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, in anybody's opinion, except for those who absolutely hate Tom Brady, will always be second fiddle to Tom Brady. He is the Phil Simms to Joe Montana. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He is second fiddle to Tom Brady.
And here's the funny part about that statement.
Because it's like this. If Aaron Rodgers is as great as Stephen A. Smith and all these motherfuckers say he is, why has he only got one ring?
Yeah. Yeah. And see, here's something else for you, right? So I got some on top of that.
I got one more thing on top of that too.
Oh, okay. Well, you go ahead. Keep going, because I want to hear your statement.
Aaron Rodgers is the LeBron James of the NFL.
I wish I could even give him.
Could be the best player on the field, but won't ever get as many rings as a guy who is just a little bit better than him and has more consistency around him.
Like I wouldn't even call him LeBron of the field of that, because
LeBron does have 3 rings, so
exactly. LeBron James can seemingly will his team to a victory, regardless of the circumstances. Aaron Rodgers hasn't been that capable. Aaron Rodgers is not that durable.
Aaron Rodgers is handy capable. What are you talking about?
Aaron Rodgers, if there's anybody that I can compare Aaron Rodgers to, I mean, if we're going to go NBA, did I really say it like that? I compare Aaron Rodgers to Tracy McGrady.
Ooh.
And it's not a bad statement. And I don't want to come off like that. It's not a bad statement. Tracy McGrady, when you compare the numbers in his prime, right? He was as good, if not better, than Kobe Bryant. If you just looked at the numbers, just the numbers, his averages, the memories he created, remember the points that he scored in so many times, the miracles he did.
In my opinion, I think a better one would have been Tracy McGrady.
But the reason why I say Tracy McGrady, because Tracy McGrady created memories, right? Tracy McGrady.
Vince Carter didn't create memories.
Vince Carter had Jason Kidd when he went in that Nets run.
Not in Toronto when he was doing all that shit.
Yeah, but all right. So in Toronto, he was just a highlight reel.
You can say the same thing about Dominique Wilkins.
Exactly. He was just a highlight reel. But Tracy McGrady.
Same thing about Aaron Rodgers.
But here's where the thing comes in. See, Vince Carter can never go for 40 a night consistently, right? Tracy McGrady had the threat. He can drop 40 on you with no problem. And that's why I said, when you compare the numbers, if somebody threw these numbers at you and without any kind of context whatsoever, you put Kobe Bryant's numbers next to Tracy McGrady's numbers. And those numbers, when you compare them like in the prime years.
I saw the Black Adam Schefter.
Yeah, but I even went back further. I even compared that one season. I went back further. I compared his Magic years all the way up until maybe the last 2 or 3 years of his Houston years. I compared that, and I compared it to Kobe Bryant's numbers, and those numbers look eerily similar. With that said, the reason, and this is the reason why I really come up with this, and I really say this, because he can create memories, he can create miracles, but he cannot create championships. And that's the difference between a guy like Tracy McGrady and a guy like Kobe Bryant, and the difference between a guy like Aaron Rodgers and a guy like Tom Brady. Because Tom Brady has never had to wow you and flash you with numbers when he secured victory. Matter of fact, it's when Tom Brady has to wow you and get numbers is when the problem starts.
Yeah, that's when they don't win.
Exactly. And that's a big thing. And Aaron Rodgers is going to have to learn, or in fact, his team, the people that construct the team, are going to have to learn that they need to actually create a team to benefit the offense and defense that the coaches are trying to do in order to secure victory, in order to go farther than they've been. And until they do that, they're not going to do anything. Jimmy Graham was a good start, but that's not going to be enough. Not this year, and probably not for the next couple years.
They got Jimmy Graham, and they got rid of Aaron Rodgers his whole career.
Yep, Jordy Nelson. He grew with Jordy Nelson. Them two grew together. They had a relationship and a rapport. And matter of fact, Aaron Rodgers was still hurt. Remember? You remember the reports that came out of Green Bay? He was hurt by that shit.
Packers are.
Yeah, and it's not like he lost a step. It's not like Jordy Nelson lost a step. Yes, he has knee injuries, but he never really lost a step. He was still out there beating wide receivers in the slot, killing them.
The issue that happened with Jordy last year is when he came back, the schedule their offenders are faster than Jordy Nelson.
Yeah, he didn't have time to
knew how to cover man a lot better.
Yeah, you know what it is. They're trying to get into the playoffs. This is simple as that.
To remember, Jordy Nelson's first game back. You know who was not matched up against his first game back?
Who?
Josh Norman.
Oh yeah. So you already know. One of the most physical corners in the game.
Then the week after, Richard Sherman.
Yep. I mean,
his numbers dropped. Oh, I wonder why. You have no offense. Your quarterback every 5 fucking plays, receivers who are consistent.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what it is. And that's literally what it comes down to. Like, I don't know. Like, before I get into it, let's get into the prediction.
I said 7-9.
You say 7-9. All right. 7-9. NFC North. We basically we only guaranteed the only team that was going to make the playoffs was the Giants in the NFC East, right?
Yep.
I say 10-6. No, actually no. Let's change that. I say 8-8. All right. So now, I still have it on AFC North. Why did I make this simpler? It's, you know what? It's because when the shit froze, I got distracted. That's what it was. So now let's talk about the third place team last year, the Detroit Lions. Now, things are interesting in Detroit. You have a new coach. You have Matt Patricia. You have a new coach, a defensive-minded coach. A defense that's was built already to run shit, and yet their full potential wasn't realized under Jim Campbell. Now you have a defensive-minded coach that doesn't even necessarily have to worry about the offense.
Nope.
Doesn't have to worry about the offense. Is going to do what it does. So it's going to be up to the defense, and it's going to be up to special teams.
I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something in this section about the Lions that you'll probably never hear me say again.
What?
Matt Stafford is honestly, my opinion.
You're going to have to say that again. That whole thing cut out.
Censor me. Matthew Stafford. Can you?
I hear you somewhat. Go ahead. Keep going. What happened to your shit? No audio. Hold on. Nope. All right, let me drop you out and drop you back in. Give me a second. So Big Sin is dropping out, dropping back in. Give me a moment here. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. If you can hear me, y'all got to hear me. So, but yes, the Detroit Lions have an interesting conundrum going on. The Detroit Lions is one of those teams that seemingly on paper look like a really, really fucking good football team. Hold on. See if I can bring you in now. Are you in?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give you the solo. Give me a second. Let me give you the solo, and then I'm gonna be back. I gotta change something real quick. Go ahead and speak, sir.
All right. So about the Detroit Lions or any other quarterback in the NFL for Tom Brady, Matt Stafford is the best quarterback in the NFC. He has been for years. He just hasn't had the weapon that he was blessed with. Yes, he had Calvin Johnson, but he also coaching. He had to support him. He hasn't had an offensive line to support him. Wasn't good till last year. Last year they weren't even that good. But Matt Stafford has always, since being in the NFL, put up 5,000 yards, 25 plus touchdowns. Yeah, he might throw an occasional 10 to 15 interceptions here and there, but he's been pretty since coming into the league. A very underrated quarterback. But yes, that is my statement about him. And with having Matt Patricia there, that defense is going to have the ability to earn under one of the best, who honestly in New England did more with nothing than he did when he had stars on that defense. They won the Super Bowl with the 32nd ranked defense in the NFL because they have a Hall of Fame quarterback. The Detroit Lions potentially have a Hall of Fame quarterback in Mr. Matt Stafford. And yes, Matt Stafford has screwed me on fantasy football before because I start him in weeks that he doesn't perform. But then he'll go up and put up 50, 60 points the week after when I bench his punk ass. So while Mr. Blaq is doing whatever there,
I'm getting water.
I'm high on the Vikings this year. I would say the Detroit Lions could possibly win this division. But like I said, I got Minnesota winning this division, but I do have Detroit making the wild card at a 12-4 record.
So we're putting you down for Detroit 12-4?
Yeah, so what do you think about my Matt Stafford stats?
You want my honest opinion? I think that God damn it, that's not what I wanted. I think that Matt Stafford is easily top 3 in the NFC. I feel that as long as
he agreed everything. Aaron Rodgers is there. But in my opinion, Matt Stafford, if he offensive line and actually a running game, would have been the best for the last 5 years.
All right, so I always say I like to play the quarterback game. The quarterback game is essentially where you take a quarterback and you put him on a team that has a great offense but a shitty quarterback. You ask them if they can do good. So, if you gave Matt Stafford the same weapons as we'll just say it, the Detroit, the New York Giants with their running back, with their receiving core now. How far does Matt Stafford take a New York Giants offense?
Matt Stafford takes that team 15-1.
Fair deal. So
he has an arm that Odell Beckham can't outrun.
Yeah. So you say 12-4?
Yeah, that's a wild card berth.
All right, I got 11-5 for the Detroit Lions. I think they make it out back into the playoffs after a hiatus. All right. And then last, but certainly not least, sir, the Chicago Bears.
Okay, the first thing I want to say about the Bears is their defense, which was bottom 25 last year, is going to be between 13 and 18 this year. So their defense is significantly better.
Yep, I agree. Agree wholeheartedly.
I still don't trust the quarterback. I don't like Mitchell Trubisky. I think he's another fucking Paxton Lynch.
That's where I disagree. Big Mitch, to me anyway, is one of those quarterbacks that he's good at a lot of things, but not really great at something. He can scramble. He got a cannon. Not a great cannon, but a good cannon. He's not a fast quarterback, but he can scramble and get away. He's not tall, but he's big. He's one of those guys that if I could compare him to somebody, David Gerard, but not with the experience. You see what I'm saying? At least David Gerard had big game, big school experience. I mean, he played for Trubisky played for North Carolina, but his schedule was really kind of soft. Let's be dead honest. He only played Florida State and Miami, consistently as big squad teams. But David Gerard, this college, he had the experience, and that's what kind of carried him and his experience over. Mitch Trubisky. Say it again, sir. You cut out.
Guard.
You know who David Gerard is.
That guy. Yeah, I know David. He's the guy who took over from.
Yep.
In Jacksonville.
Yep.
And he had a decent career.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
I only have one question about.
Yeah.
I only have one question about the Bears.
Yeah.
Are we actually going to see Kevin White on the field this year?
That is the $1 million question. And I think that if we do, then that kind of changes a lot of things. I still don't think the Bears, them losing Jordan Howard, and I think Jordan Howard went to the Patriots.
No.
Okay, so he went to an AFC team. I know that much. Or it could have been the Dolphins. Them losing Jordan Howard, the Bears losing Jordan Howard in that 1-2 running punch is gonna change everything. But if they have Kevin White there, that gives that man a huge target to play with. But if they don't,
Kevin White still has not played an NFL game.
I know it's rough, right?
And Jordan Howard is still on the Chicago Bears.
So is the other running back then. Can't remember the other. Remember they had a two-headed monster.
We forgot to mention one thing about the Bengals. And it could be X factor this year.
Speak on it. What's going on?
I don't like the man because of what he did in his personal life, but the man runs hard and can play in the slot and carry the ball up the middle. And that's Mr. Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon, yeah. Yeah.
That dude's a fucking monster.
Yeah. That's true. That is very true. I have the Bears. I still don't think they're going to be at the bottom of the division. Don't get me wrong. But I think they're going to be the most entertaining team at the bottom of this division. I really easily 5-11, 6-10. But
I got the Bears at 8-8.
You got them at 8-8?
Yeah.
I
think their defense makes some plays so they can win a couple of those tight games they're going to have, like the ones against the Packers. Their defense did improve that much.
Okay. I see that. I really think, though, that Trubisky, his youth, is going to win them and cost them games. It's really how Trubisky plays out this year. Sophomore season.
I see that.
So this is the rundown. So Big Sin has Pittsburgh at 9-7. I have them at 10-6. Both Pittsburgh missing the playoffs. I think we both. Big Sin says 6-10 for the Ravens. I said 7-9. We have the Bungles. Big Sin has them at 11-5. I have them at 10-6. And then we have the Browns at. He has them at 11-5. I have them at 10-6. in that three-way tie, and we hope both have them winning the AFC North this year. Down in the NFC North,
motherfuckers again.
Down in the NFC North, we have Minnesota. We both agreed 13-3. He says the Packers are 7-9. I say 8-8. He says the Lions are going to be 12-4. I say 11-5. And then Big Sin says the Bears will be 8-8. I say 6-10. It's going to be some Boulevard of Broken Dreams, sir.
So once again, our picks are really invited work when it comes to record.
Yeah, we're kind of right on point. We really agree. I think we're right there because it can go either way. These close games, they can go either way. I mean, I say we even hit ballpark around it. We'll even give ourselves. I'll tell you what. We're gonna give ourselves a 2-game leeway, one way or the other.
All right.
We'll make the predictions we feel, but we'll give a 2-game leeway, one way or the other. So
now the question I have on my mind is, did you get your hands on Madden?
Oh yes, sir.
When are we going to do our annual game?
If you're not dead tomorrow, my schedule is pretty open, sir.
Your schedule is pretty open tomorrow?
Well, not tomorrow. Sunday.
Okay, so if I'm not dead on Sunday, we will have our annual Patriots 49ers game, and we will pick our teams for our full Blaq.
Oh, yes.
Oh, and you know what comes out in 11 days?
What you said comes out when?
11 days.
Isn't that Fire Pro Wrestling?
But I have to bounce I have to go to the bathroom. I got to go. So Mr. Blaq will end the show.
All right.
I'll catch you soon, brother.
All right. Catch you, man, later. Have a good one, man.
Yep. Bye.
All right. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching Sinful Blaq Entertainment's Overtime Sports Show NFL Preview. Last segment is going to be dedicated to something that I've been working on as far as it goes the podcast. Now, if you guys haven't been paying attention to my timeline on Facebook and a timeline on Instagram, we have established with Anchor Podcasting, our podcast network. This video, after you see it, is going to end up on the Anchor Podcast Network. And once it ends up on the Anchor Podcast Network, it is going to go worldwide. So regardless of what podcast service that you use, we should be there. We plan on being on Apple. We are going to be on Google. We're going to be on Spotify. We're going to be on Stitcher. We're going to be on Pocket Cast. And of course, the good old Anchor Network as well. So with that said, make sure that if you don't like looking at our ugly mugs, you make sure you tune in to Sinful Blaq Entertainment on the podcast. Watch us audioly. Listen to us verbalize and express how we feel. So with that said, I want to thank you guys again for riding with us. Next week, we have on deck good old. We have Overtime Sports Show mornings, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We have some video games discussions that we got to have. Also, we got to talk about some wrestling on Thursday. So we got a full week slate ahead. With Big Sin is going to be there. I know his work schedule is weird, but I'm going to try and make sure we deliver you guys the content. We're going to get that done in the morning. Make sure you guys are good. So it's going to be early. Now, with the wrestling ones and the video game ones, I plan on getting those on the podcast network as well. Sinful Blaq Entertainment Sport Overtime Sports Show is still going to be an exclusive for Facebook and YouTube. But card is always subject to change. So you never know. If the interest comes in, I'll throw that on the podcast too. And then we're good. But that saves us for tonight's show. So Ladies and gentlemen, I am your esteemed host, Hollywood J. Blaq. Catch me wherever you can see this, wherever you can feel it, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram. We're going to throw a couple clips out there for y'all. But past that, we're going to be out this bitch and we're going to holler at y'all. Deuces.